Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a small little makeup haul, and I actually found some really cool items, proudly Canadian some of them, and other things I just saw, like it was a buy one get one 50%, and then there was another thing that was actually on sale, and we'll get to it. And then at the end, you're welcome, Kim. I'm going to continue my story time. You'll have to check out Storytime Part 1. That's already on my channel as a playlist on Storytime playlist. So anyway, we're going to do Part 2 here. But before we go any further, what's on my lips? On the base is the Kate lipstick in number 45 from Rexall. And it is one of my favorites. I use this quite often. It's a nice cool tone. Beigey, like your lips but better, but a cool tone version. And I have Bite Beauty's what do they call this though? I keep forgetting. French press lip gloss in the color Flat White. So a proudly Canadian company right there. So that's Bite Beauty's Flat White. Love it. That's what's on top. So giving me a bit of a nude look. All right, to start off with today, I went into Rexall. I might be doing a different skin regime come like late fall, but I just need something to a couple little things to kind of, you know, fill in the gap between now and then, because I'm almost out of my daytime face cream. So this happened to be on sale at Rexall or IDA. I think that IDA bought out Rexall here in Canada, a drugstore. And this is the Olay Total Effects Whip Light as Air Finish Active Moisturizer with Sunscreen, 25 broad spectrum. I got this one because I felt like it was probably better for me. I've never tried this, so any of you guys out there who have tried this, let us all know what you think of it. It was on sale for $23 Canadian, which probably would be about 17 US dollars, I would think. But this, I've not opened it yet. Whoop. Might be a reason why I don't open it. I'm almost nervous to do so. Anyway, we'll just do that later. It looks really cool on the outside, but I think I have one more application of my daytime moisturizer. So I'm happy to have picked up something just to cover, like if I do start a new regime in the late fall, I don't want to buy too many things, you know? All right, so last week, I've been holding on to this for a little bit, but last week I went into London Drugs here in Canada and they had a few things on sale. First of all, if you remember, I had one of these blushes on my favorites list for my favorites for August of 2018. And anyway, I thought I'd go and check out, because I liked it so much, I thought I'd go check out other colors in this. And this is the L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted Scented Blush in the color Bashful. So this is the color Bashful. I have not opened a darn thing right now, so I don't even have scissors to open this, but this was on sale. I think that the original one I bought was not on sale and it was almost $20. I want to say it was $19.99. This was on sale for $13. So I was like, heck yeah, hello. And so anyway, it's a nice lighter color that I could use in the summer and the spring. And yeah, depends on the look that you're wearing. And then in store, they had buy one, get one 50% off on Maybelline products. I've never tried Maybelline's version of a setting spray, but I decided to pick up the Master Fix by Face Studio Wear Boosting Setting Spray. Locks in makeup, long-lasting finish, translucent and oil-free. So I thought I'd try it out because it was buy one, get one 50% off. So, and then this one here was Master Chrome by Maybelline Metallic Highlighter in the color Molten Rose Gold. Again, I'm totally into cheek products. I'm a total lip junkie, but I'm totally into like highlighters and blush lately. I've been purchasing more of those than I think I ever have. And then lastly of the haul, before we go into some story time here, there's a company called Leeswatch here in Canada, and actually Leeswatch was bought out by Marcel, and also a Canadian company, thank goodness, because a lot of our companies get bought out by somewhere else outside of our own country, so it's great pardon me, to know that if they got bought out, they got bought out by another Canadian company. So it's kind of neat. They just had this little stand on the side as you go, and they've got like a little few new products I've never seen this, and very few beauty gurus that I watch, even Canadians, they don't show these at all. And I was just like, I loved all of these. I actually went to the lady because it says like, here's your testers, but if you need help, if you want something, you have to go grab the lady at the front and she'll grab your stuff for you, or gentleman, depending on who was working. And so I went up to the lady who was working at the front and I said, okay, I need your help at the Leeswatch. And I was like super cute, cheeky, like I wasn't, you know, whatever. But anyway, I was just being cheeky, but I said, I so need your help here. I need, not want, I need 3 products from Leeswatch, as I was giggling like I am now. Sorry, it's not even a bun, but anyway, so I got 2 lip products and a blush. So this is the lip product packaging, and these are the, let's see if it's, no, it's okay, because Leeswatch obviously is French. This is a hydrating lip balm in 2 different colors, and they're Rouge Gourmand Glow. So they're described as comfort, or sorry, sheer color, absolute comfort. And 2 colors I got was Parfait Glaze and Ice Cream. So I'm just gonna, these are 1.5 grams or 0.05 ounces. The packaging is simply stunning. First of all, and I'm not much of a packaging person. Doesn't this look like a perfume bottle? Look at this. So this one here is in the color Parfait Glaze or Glacé. And so that gives you the color on the bottom. The top is just gold. You click and then you extend. And it goes up and down if you need more. But it's a balm, so it's not supposed to be super, super colorful, but look at that. How perfect is that? I was like, and it doesn't smell like anything, but my goodness, and the packaging is just like to die for. It's rose gold, like a jungly theme type thing. I really like it, and that says something because normally I could care less about packaging. This next one is Ice Cream. All right, so we have, again, the packaging like so, pretty much exactly the same. It's got the color and the names on the bottom. Rose gold, and there is this one, Ice Cream. That's the top one here, Ice Cream. Oh, again, no scent, but just so cute, and I love the colors. They had some a bright berry and a darker brown, so we'll see. They weren't that bad a price. I want to say, don't remember, I don't have the receipt. I want to say they were under $20 Canadian, so that's not bad at all. And then to the pièce de résistance, the thing that I actually dug my, like not dug, but the thing that I tried first was the Leeswatch Haute Nature Blush. This is 16 grams or 0.56 ounces. And this is in the color, oh, I think it only came in one color. Oh, hey, Rilla, come here. Oh, hello. We had a little bit of an incident playing bocce outside. She almost got herself run over. Her hearing isn't great, and we're throwing bocce balls. We're like, Willow, get out of the way. And yeah, she almost got run over by a bocce ball, but she's fine. Anyway, so it is just the one blush, similar packaging, except for instead of rose gold, it's an actual like antique or patina type look to it, and the same kind of like look on the top. And then it opens up here. I haven't even opened these since I got them. Oh, there's a mirror. I'm just gonna do this so you don't have to get glare from outside. Look at that beauteousness. Oh, I love. This is gonna be so great for fall. Right here. Oh my goodness. It's like a matte to satin. Like it's not a total matte, but it's not glittery. There's no glitter on it whatsoever. So yeah, really, really excited about that. I'm excited to try, oh, as I drop it. Excuse me, I sort of spat when I did that, my bad. All right, so that's the haul. So if all you wanted to see was the haul, I thank you very much for your time. And now I'm going to go on to the next part in my story time. And also, if you guys have any suggestions on things you want to ask me, if it gets too personal, I just won't answer them. But if you have any suggestions on story times for future, let me know, because I mean, I've got all sorts of things. If you have some questions for me and that, so maybe it become one of those things. If I'm gonna do makeup or something, I can answer questions or so on. So anyway, back to story time. So just a quick recap. I was on my trip to England for my 4 weeks for our exchange program in high school. I was in grade 12, my senior year in high school, and I was over in England, and we were billeted, and we gone around for 4 weeks visiting all sorts of places. But we had billet families, but my billet family was fabulous. They are such amazing people. On the very last night, my host family threw a wonderful party for all of us, the Canadians and the British. And the party was at their house. It was so cool. It was so much fun. It was like my first real, like, because I mean, I grew up, I was pretty sheltered. So it was like my first real big party. And like we had some alcohol, which was really good because my parents were so against that when you were underage. And I totally respect that. And obviously I respect it because they were my parents. So anyway, so to set the tone at that party, again, I was asked by a friend of mine to step outside because this guy named Peter, who I knew for the last year and a bit, but didn't really pay much attention to, asked for someone to grab me and bring me outside. He wanted to talk to me. All right. And so Peter was a year younger than I was. And so I walked outside and we had a really nice talk, and he expressed his very much interest in me, really, really liked me and said all these things. I was just like, stunned, deer caught in headlights. I was the jockette in school. I was not looked at all for anything. And in my high school, all of us went to pretty much preschool together, and they were like my brothers. So it was like a total shocker to me, like totally not expecting it. And he asked if he could kiss me, and I said no, just things like that. But then he asked, would it be okay if I take you to meet my parents? So this is kind of where we ended up. So I let someone know that I was just going. They lived right around the corner and actually knew my host family. They were very close all through their kids, like growing up. And then I just let someone know I was going there. I met his mom, his dad, his brother, their cat, their dog. I mean, and it was so nice. And apparently he'd spoken so highly of me to his parents and his brother. I had no idea. Like I said, it was like more like a whoa. But anyway, so that's where it sort of ended. We walked back to the party. We exchanged because I mean, internet was dial-up. It was barely dial-up at the time. This is 1996, folks. So anyway, we exchanged our addresses like for pen pal, and from there we would write letters back and forth to one another. Probably I get 2 letters from him a month for a good year. And then he's like, well, his birthday was in January, and his parents knew, like he kept talking about me nonstop, and they're like, fine, well, what do you want for Christmas? He's like, I want to go out and visit Kim during Christmas time. And they're like, okay. So I guess they gave him the money to purchase a ticket. And I went home for the holidays to visit my family. And he stayed partially with me, partially with his billet family that he originally had. Again, these are the days where you actually talk to people and like wrote letters and things, right? But then, we grew closer and closer and closer. And he was such a doll, like super nice. It's really good to my family. I really, really enjoyed him. I enjoyed his company, but then it was time for him to go. And then shortly thereafter, I had to go back to university for school. Anyway, and we just kept continuing on talking. And then I went out there to visit him again. And again, it was just like, it was awesome. And we just picked up where we last left off, stayed with his family and things like that. And it was fantastic. And then we went our separate ways, and it was for no particular reason except that, whatever. I was in one of those places I never was with anybody, but, it just sort of came out that he was starting to see somebody. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, whatever. I mean, at the time I was super young, and so was he, early 20s, and we went our own way. He, in fact, got engaged, and I actually almost got engaged. I had a promise ring, and I gave it back, but that's another story for another time. But, anyway, we kind of went on our separate ways, but apparently we both, because I know how I felt, but apparently we both felt very strongly, that we were in each other's minds all the time. So I thought about him quite a bit. And then when my relationship fizzled out, his didn't last much longer with his own relationship, and we got talking a little bit more again. So we would talk once in a while, and it was nothing flirtatious while we were dating, because neither he or I we weren't officially dating when we were going back and forth, let's be honest. That's pretty far away, and we were really young and so on. But when we were broken up with each other, like each other had broken up with our significant others, we got chatting a little bit more often on the phone. We sent a little bit more, like a few more letters out, which was awesome. And then he came out in May. I want to say it was May. And he came out, and I was living in Nanaimo, not far from here at the time. And I mean, it was serious. He was serious. He came out with on a mission, like in such a good way. Again, it was like having a best friend where you pick up right where you left off. There was no questions asked, because you know what? People live, it's whatever. Again, we're super young. But he was serious about moving forward with me. And I said, and he was talking about coming out to Canada, working out here, seeing how we would live together and how we would do as a couple, and then go on from there. And I said to him, I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, if that's what you want, of course, I'm totally game for it. But if that's what you want, this coming Christmas, keep in mind this conversation's going on in May, I said, this Christmas, why don't I come out to, if you get all that stuff, all your ducks in a row, this Christmas, I'll come out your way, visit you and your family, because if you're going to be coming out to Canada for 6 months, that's a long time. So, you know, and I wanted to say hi to everybody, but again, you're leaving your country for 6 months at least. You know, it seems like only fair that I would go over there and I visit, you know, and I did, and I flew out there and I visited him. The whole plan was his family had they still had their beautiful home in Kings Langley, and then they had a home that they were almost 80% done. It was still livable to be in, but they're outdoors. They were waiting till the summer to do the pool, but all the inside of the house was done in Italy, in Sant'Angelo in Pontano. So what the plan was, I was going to fly out to England, spend the week with he and his brother, hang out for a bit, and then we were to fly out a couple days, I think it was the 22nd or something of December, to Italy to meet up with his parents, who were already out there, sort of getting things ready with the house and so on. And everything was great. So his dad paid for my ticket to go from England. Well, I mean, and they're good prices. Once you're already in Europe, you can get some pretty good deals. But I flew myself to England, and then his parents paid for me to come from England to Sant'Angelo and Pontano. So anyway, I flew in there. It was great. I got to meet a lot of his friends and so on and so forth. And I'm not one of those girls who, I'm not a stalker. I'm not, you do you, man. You do you, boo. Like, I'm not about to go who, what, when, where, why, like whatever. That's just not my style. So when I think I arrived there on a Sunday, on the Wednesday, just like 2 days before we were supposed to fly out to Italy, the guy, Peter, he said, well, a couple of the guys really want to throw me a big party before I go away. Would you mind? Because Peter was going to come back with me right after. Like, we were going to fly back from Italy to England. We had 24 hours to grab, you know, stuff, and he had all his paperwork ready to go. Like, his family had helped him organize, you know, boys, you know, family had helped him to organize some stuff. And it was all ready to go. I already had a job for him. I had like a birthday party, surprise party he didn't know about, ready for him within the first couple days of us being there, because his birthday, like I say, was at the beginning of the new year. And anyway, so yeah, absolutely, go have fun, have a good party. Your brother and I will just hang out, we'll watch movies. Like, whatever. I don't have to be around anybody. Like, you want to be with the guys. I don't know what happened. He got cold feet. He showed no signs of anything bad for this whole time, and then all of a sudden he got cold feet. From that party, he never came back. He never came back to where his brother and I were staying at their place. And in fact, his brother was, you know, they're pretty tight. His brother searched high and low in that town, in the cities around, asking all the right people, where is he, where is he, where is he? And he couldn't find him. And it was like, oh my gosh. So that was a Wednesday into the Thursday morning, and then we were stressing out. His brother Martin and I were stressing out, and you know, obviously Martin talked to his dad and his mom, who were in Italy, just letting them know what's going on. Like, Peter's AWOL. We have no idea where he's at. You know, Martin tried to find him. It just wasn't. No one knew where he was, and trust me when I say Martin may be his brother, but he didn't have his back in the situation, in the sense of he wasn't going to hide anything. Martin was a good guy, and he knew he did right. He did do right. So anyway, he talked to his parents, and I guess his dad was able to get a hold of Peter while his dad was in England, or sorry, while his dad was in Italy still, and Peter was somewhere in England. We didn't know where, not far, we're sure, but all of a sudden, I'm at the house that I'm staying at, supposedly with Peter and his brother Martin, and then I got a phone call from their dad, who is in Italy, and his dad says to me, I don't know how to say this, and I do not have any answers for you, and I shouldn't even be the one to talk to you about this, but Peter can't even talk to you right now. We don't have any answers. I'm so sorry. Like, his dad was profusely apologetic, and he just kept saying, I'm so sorry, but he won't be coming to Italy, and he won't be going back to Canada either. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, it was like the world sank. Because not only did I love the guy, like, and we've gotten close and we had like future plans, but he at this point had been my friend for 12 years. 12 years I had known this guy. So it was like losing a friend and not knowing what the heck, no closure, no nothing. And this is the start of me not having a lot of closure in life, and maybe that's why the career I am in now, or you know, volunteer work that I do, there's not a lot of closure in anything I do, and maybe it's because I've become numb to it. But I was like, okay, but I couldn't go. And he said, but you know, you're still welcome to come to Italy. I mean, I loved his parents. I loved his family. They were such great people. And I will say this, I got off the phone. I said, no, I'm still, you know, I wasn't sure, actually, I wasn't sure if I was going to stay or go. I got off the phone with him, and I knew what time it was back home in Canada. It was around noon. I know my mom would come home from work for her 1 hour lunch break, and she would be home, and she'd be the only person. You know how moms are. If you're a mom, you totally get it, and you only want good things for your kids. And she knew everything that was going to be happening. She knew everything. I talked to my mom about everything. So anyway, I called her, and she was at home and very excited to hear my voice, you know, just days before Christmas, and you know, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting your call. And then she could hear something was wrong, and then I started crying, and I told her what was going on and that I don't have any answers. And cat's right here. I don't have any answers. I don't know what to say. Man, that was rough. That was rough. And my mom's like, come home. I said, I can't, because at that point, there was so much fog. It was so foggy. They landed flights for 3 days straight in Heathrow. So I couldn't get out of Heathrow to fly home, but I could go to Stansted Airport to fly, which was my original flight that was supposed to go from Stansted to Italy with Ryanair or whatever. But they were flying because it was further away. But I couldn't fly home with Heathrow because they literally landed planes for, I think it was 3 to 5 days. It was right around Christmas too, 1996, or no, not 1996, 2006, 2007. Look it up, I'm not lying. Christmas of 2006, that's when it was. And you couldn't even see, the fog was so thick in areas where you couldn't even see your car parked like 20 feet away. Like, it was so thick with fog. So can you imagine Heathrow Airport with that much backlogged people, like crazy. Anyway, and I said, Mom, I can't even go anywhere. I'm going to go to Italy, and I'm going to try my best to enjoy my trip to Italy. So Mom was pretty sad, and I asked her, I said, I know you'll listen to me. If Dad were to ask you specifically, I know you would tell him because you don't lie, but please don't tell anybody. I don't want to wreck anyone's Christmas. Here I am worrying about everybody else but myself, and my mom's like upset with me, and she wants to be there with me, and she can't be, obviously. So she managed, bless her soul, she managed to hold on to that, because about 4 or 5 days later, it was Christmas. I had flown with Peter's brother Martin from Stansted Airport to a place in Italy that we're staying. His parents met us. You know, we spent a couple days. I barely ate. When I get upset, I don't eat. I'm not the opposite of eating too much. I don't eat. I don't drink enough water. I just almost become like numb. So and they knew. I mean, like I said, these people have known me at this point. Well, yeah, a long time. Not, maybe it wasn't 12 years. So 1996 to 2006. So 10 years at this point. 10 and a bit years, actually. Anyway, it was Christmas, and of course in Italy they're 9 hours ahead, and I called my parents. My parents had just, I let them borrow my place in Nanaimo because my sister at the time was living there with her husband. Her kids were really, really small. And I said, yeah, stay at my place. And so I knew that they were going over to my sister's place for a Christmas dinner. So I called when I knew that they would be there all together. I get on the phone with my dad, gets on the phone with me right away. And he's like, you know, it's my dad. He's like, oh, Merry Christmas. And just joyful. And just that's how dad is. And, you know, it's Christmas and being far away, you know, just making sure I'm okay. And then he's like, so how is everything? And I just lost it. My mom hadn't mentioned anything to my dad. Like I said, she's such an angel. She didn't say anything. Of course, if he specifically asked, but if he didn't know what to ask, he wouldn't, you know, obviously. But, wow. Sorry, my hair is like all over the place. Yeah, he's like, and I guess I hear later that while my dad was sitting in the room with my sister, brother-in-law, oldest nephew, and my mom, he was sitting there on the phone, and I guess when he asked me how I was doing, of course, the only one in the room at the time who knew what was going on was my mom. And afterwards, I find out my mom said your dad was just like his face just went, what? Over on the phone. And so I had to tell him what was going on. Here I'm outside, and I had no answers. I still had no answers. We couldn't get a hold of Peter the whole time I was away. We got a hold of him right before New Year's Eve. I was over at Christmas and New Year's Eve in Italy, and the plan was, and I still did, fly back to England for, I think it was a total of 12 or 13 hours. And then we were heading out. It was less than a day anyway. Then we were supposed to, Peter and I, head out to Canada from Heathrow. But anyway, so it was, you know, we did New Year's Eve, and that was rough. Everyone's coupled up but myself, and oh, there's a fruit fly. And it was just weird, and you know, and I love his family, but you're with his family. You're with his family, and they are not happy with him. Like, they are not happy with him because he's talked me up to them, and over all these years, and we've done such like good friend work. Like, the bones were there, but it was just like, you just drop your friend. Like, that's, to me, that's exactly how I felt. Anyway, so Christmas came and went, did some sightseeing and that, and then on New Year's Eve was a big it was a big party. It was very cool in the small town that I was in Italy, and that was great. And then I was to fly back, and I flew back with his brother, and we had heard from Peter just days, I want to say like the 30th of January, he finally called, and I just talked to him. I'm like, he finally let me talk to him, and I'm like, look, I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to yell. I'm not here to ridicule anything. But can you just please be at the airport to pick your brother and I up, and then we can have a talk, because I only have a few hours. If you're not going to come, okay, I'm not going to convince you otherwise. That's not my style. Clearly you made that decision a while ago at this point, but you know, if you could please pick me up and your brother when we fly back into Stansted. We flew into Stansted, and his brother, yeah, we expected to see him, and he wasn't there. And anyway, we had to, well, sorry, Martin had to scramble to grab someone he knew that could, it ended up being his dad's friend, coming all the way out to Stansted Airport, picking us up, taking us back to the place. I had started my trip off, you know, staying with Martin and his brother Peter, and Peter still wasn't at the house. Well, Martin was so angry at his brother. Like, I'm not joking. Like I said, he loves his brother, but he wanted to drop kick his brother too, because he's like, that's not how you were taught to treat women, and this is your friend first, and then like possibly more. I mean, you make plans for the future, and then you shite on them, right? We get back, we find out Peter's not even in the house. Ugh. And his brother's on a mission. He's like, Kim, stay here. You got the phone next, you know, here's the phone. I'll call you. And the next thing I know, he found his brother at a pub, literally dragged him back to the car, drove him back to the house, set him in the house, closed the door, and left. His brother drove away, and Peter and I had a chat for about 3 hours, and most of it wasn't even chatting. Most of it was like, we're both in tears, and we just look at each other, and we're just like, there's not a whole lot anyone can say. I didn't ask why, because it didn't matter. I don't think he was in a place to be able to tell me why exactly. And the last memory I have is when I got picked up by by Peter and Martin's dad. A friend of theirs took me to the airport. The last memory I have is me just sort of waving at Peter as he stood outside, bawling his eyes out, waving to me goodbye. That's it. That's the story, and I'm just over 30 minutes here. I'm just gonna end it right now, because that was my first take of someone doing you wrong. And like, again, it's your friend. It's the person who you trusted, who've grown up with, in essence, and then they did you wrong, and it's so messy. But I guess at the end of the day, it sucked at the time, but it was better off to have found out what a flake he was then than it would have been if you were too deep in poo-poo and already married and had kids or whatever, and then they flaked out. I would have rather had found out the way I did, even though at the moment it sucked. So I flew back home, and I remember I got home at like 11 p.m. by the time I finally got home, and I was leaning up against my kitchen counter and already given Willow lots of love, like pets, because I've been away for 3 weeks at that point. And so she got lots of love, and I was on the phone with my best friend she told me, as soon as you get home, let me know what happened, because she'd helped me arrange the place for his birthday dinner, all this, that, and the other. Anyway, I was on the phone with her, and I was talking on the phone, leaning up against the kitchen cabinets, and Willow was just wanting more and more. She probably sensed, I'm not joking, she sensed how distraught I was. I believe that, I really do. Animals are amazing. You look to them for wisdom. You look at their eyes. They're very good like that. And anyway, so I was like sitting up against the counter on the phone with my friend and telling her what was going on, because she had lots of questions and was trying to answer them the best I could. And Willow was just like kind of jumped up along, like not jump, but she kind of walked up to my legs and was like, hey, hey, hey. And then she did a superhero like jump up onto my sweater and hung on here. So she wanted to be up here, which is not Willow's style. That's not what she does, but she totally knew. I 100% believe it, and timing is everything, because she's having herself a little bath. She knew exactly. I was going through some hurt, some pain, some rough feelings, but like I said, that was probably my first taste of no closure whatsoever. And, it is what it is. And I don't know, I think I've got pretty thick skin for the most part, but maybe that's also a bad thing. So that is the next part of the series, this story time that ends that particular story. I never spoke to Peter again. I've never, I emailed his family for a few years there, but I really don't know what's up with them. I know they're still in Italy, and I know I think they're all still alive, and I think like his parents. But yeah, there you go. That was it. So Kim from Kim Hearts Organizing, you're so welcome. She's like texting me. She's like, cliffhanger, when are you gonna tell me more? And I'm like, I haven't had 2 seconds to like sit down, but I'm like, I will totally do it. But I figured with this small haul today, it only took up maybe 7 minutes, and then a lot more time is to do with talking about the story. So anyway, I hope that everyone goes through stuff. Absolutely. And always have to remember that there's somebody out there, many other people out there having a worse day than I am. So there you go. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching. Be safe, take care, and have fun. Bye, guys.